What a big crowd that showed up at the Capitol today. There was a big rally at the steps of the old Capitol building for medical freedom and the right to work. You probably know about the mandates, right, to take the vaccine. And if you don't do it, well, you don't get to work. I mean, we went pretty quick, didn't we? From 14 days to flatten the curve to you can't even make a living, right? You can't even be part of society, right? We're going to segregate you. It is first of all, it's illegal. There are a lot of lawsuits about it. You might say, well, everybody should take it, damn it. Well, the thing is, first of all, the way it's being done by executive order, that's not what. Do you know what an executive order is? It cannot be legislative in nature. An executive order is what a president uses to clarify a law that is passed by the Congress, right? How to execute the law. I mean, unless you just have absolutely no limits on the power of federal government. Let's take a look at what it is. The mandates, right? You can't work. You're going to be thrown out on the street. If you can't pay your house, to hell with you. Do what you're to bake the damn cake is what I'm saying. How many of you believe this is not about health? I mean, we don't even know what the situation is going to be. Like, is it going to get bad again? Is it not going to get bad again? It's going to be with us forever. That's what respiratory viruses do. So I don't want to get into all of the medical stuff, but Dr. Jon Ward did. Our own Dr. Jon Ward, the dermatologist in Panama City, he went to the rally in Tally, and he gave an incredible talk. I'm going to share part of it with you tonight, as well as my comments on the steps of the old Capitol. But I really want to show you a few things first. This is from Daily Mail, all right? Biden's executive order forces all federal government contract staff to be fully vaccinated by December 8. This was posted, I think, 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. Fully vaccinated means 2 weeks since the final dose. If a worker has not had any, they must get the first Pfizer dose by a couple days ago, or a single dose by Johnson & Johnson by November 24. It's already too late for Moderna. And by the way, none of these, you cannot get one that has been approved by the FDA. And this is a news article. Look at this. It puts companies in an impossible position. Fire unvaccinated staff or lose out on their government business. Boeing relies on $168 billion in government contracts with the Air Force, but has at least 8,000 unvaccinated workers who say they'll file for exemptions. Like illegal aliens or postal workers. Cargo Airline Association, which represents UPS and FedEx, wrote the government on October 18 asking for an extension. This is quite something. And who thinks this is the last thing that a president will say with a phone and a pen that he can force you to do? This is really, really something. Do you believe in medical freedom? Do you believe that an employer who discriminates based on your medical treatment, is there any violation of other laws here? Discrimination laws, perhaps? HIPAA laws, perhaps? I know a former reporter, now he's a full-on PR advocate for Big Pharma, by the name of Noah Pransky. It's heartbreaking because he was a great investigative journalist 3 or 4 years ago. And he made a post on Facebook and he says, no, it doesn't violate HIPAA, LOL. LOL. LOL that people based on convictions are willing to lose their livelihoods. LOL. This infuriates me. Now I want to show you what I said on the steps of the Capitol. I also want to show you what Dr. Jon Ward said. This was the event. It was put on by the great Chris Ann Hall and J.C. Hall. I'm going to make an extended video showing their comments as well. But what the goal is, if you look here, the Florida House, Governor DeSantis calling a special session to pass House Bill 75 and stop the vaccine mandates in Florida and protect the choice of the people and not the profit of Big Pharma. That was the event, again, put on by Chris Ann Hall, the great constitutional teacher who lives here in Florida, in Central Florida. All right, I want to show you these some of the comments there. I also want to look at your comments. I haven't talked about this, have I? I do have a lot more to tell you about local politicians. Do you know that the feds have said that they're going to convene the grand jury will be convened November 14. The indictments will be superseded. I believe more defendants will be added. But tonight, I want to talk about this. Again, I'll make a bigger video showing the speakers who were absolutely outstanding, by the way. But first, I want to take care of a little business. And again, I'll get back to the local politicians just as soon as I can. I do, though, have to talk about Jay Trumbull and about State Senator George Gaynor, but that's coming up in a minute.
And caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
It was more like about 500 people. It was a lot of people. Let's see. Yeah, Sharon, you are so welcome. I'm doing my best. Hey, Denise. Don says, they can't tell me what to do with my guns or my body. If a woman has a right to an abortion, I have a right to refuse a vaccine. You would think, right? You would think. That's people lie. See, Vance is saying, because Dr. Jon Ward is trying to protect our children. As soon as he said what he said, I cringed because I knew people would jump on it, especially his newfound Republican political enemies. So, no, Vance, Jon Ward didn't ask people to lie. And Vance, what are you doing? What are you doing, Vance, to protect people and liberty and individual choice and medical freedom and the right to work? That snarky ass comment pisses me off, Vance. People are going to lose their jobs, and that's your comment? Not cool, man, at all. All right, let me show you the comments at the event, though. And I'll start with moi. I'll start with myself here. This is what I said at the event today.
This man has single-handedly taken down the corrupt government of Panama City Beach. They fear him, and he is going to come right now and teach you how to hold back power. Everybody get a round of applause for our friend, Bernie Thompson.
Thank you. This vaccine fetish and cult-like pathology is insane, isn't it?
Yes.
So rather than trying to reason with the unreasonable, I want to talk just for a moment about the mechanism that is in place for us to tell the federal government no. And it's what Chris Ann talks about all the time at JC. Non-compliance, and it comes from where? Well, it comes from God Almighty, our Creator. And the 10th Amendment is where we can look to say, you don't have that authority. You don't have it. And I'll talk about the anti-commandeering doctrine in a moment. But the key here is that states and governors can stand athwart the federal government and yell stop. That's the key here. And it looks like Florida could lead the way. But it's going to require that we get more Anthony Sabatinis, right? If we can't change the people, we got to change the people. Am I right? So I am so glad. I can always tell a crowd that is organic and authentic by your signs. And I've been watching one all day. It says freedom, not force. It's over here. Your signs are all original. And when I see a rally and all the signs are printed the same and everybody looks the same, I know it's not an organic rally. You are so beautiful. Out of many, one. This is an organic rally. E pluribus unum. So the anti-commandeering doctrine. Please go look this up. Anti-commandeering doctrine. Here's what it says. It has been upheld by Supreme Court rulings. Is she laughing? They're not rulings, they're opinions, right? They're not rulings, damn it. But the Supreme Court has upheld this principle of the anti-commandeering doctrine. The federal government cannot commandeer state, county, or local resources to enforce their federal acts. They can't do it. They don't have the authority. And that's when the sheriffs come in and say, no, we're not doing that. We're not interested in doing it. We need constitutional sheriffs. And we, the people, are pissed off. I see you. You really are so beautiful. This is deep. You talk about diversity and having one cause. When they start trying to force injections into our bodies and strip our liberties, those artificial barriers are stripped away. You are so beautiful. All right, I'm going to end with this. I had a 40-minute speech. Chrisanne said you had 5 minutes, so I cut out all the funny parts. But I do want to say this. I have two favorite quotes from George Washington, and I want to end with this. The first one, almost nobody knows. Who remembers the famous picture of him crossing the Delaware? He said, send me the guy who made these seating arrangements. Now, that's the first one, but it doesn't apply to this. Think about that when you're making breakfast in the morning. The other one, though, is the one I want to leave you with. George Washington said, assert your rights or accept every imposition heaped upon you. We won't accept those impositions. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Chrisanne, for inviting me. I love you.
Hey, Bernie.
This will not stand, This aggression will not stand, man.
That's right. This aggression will not stand. This aggression should not stand. I know that. Dr. Jon Ward, man, if you don't know Dr. Jon Ward, he's on Facebook. He's a dermatologist in Panama City. And his page where he talks about this stuff from a scientific position, right? So if you want to argue whether or not ivermectin is a livestock pill and is not used on humans, really, that's not the page for you, right? But if you want to learn a little something from Jon Ward, MD, and it's JON WARD, MD, Jon Ward, MD. If you want to keep up with a very passionate physician who you're going to see here in just a moment, that's the page to follow. And Dr. John, I say this too often, but I think it's important. Dr. Jon Ward and I spent a decade not getting along at all. We didn't like each other. And I probably a couple of months ago, I'd say I still don't like Jon Ward. But you know what? Regardless of what he said about me in the past and what I said about him in the past, he has been on the right side of issues like this in a courageous way. And I like Dr. Jon Ward now. How about that? We can make up because I think I know he's really pursuing the truth. And I'm going to show you what he had to say in just a moment. If you've got a honeydew list or you need some work done around the home or office, call Paul, PCB. He's licensed, insured, and he's a friend of mine. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. See, here's the thing that I'm sure of. This mandate is not about health. You know it and I know it. You know what it's about? It's about control. It's about obedience. And if allowed to continue, it will never end. It won't just be this one. It will be more just like this. And not even a law, but just an edict from on high, from your president or my president. No president should be issuing executive orders that are legislative in nature and that violate people's human decency and dignity, rather. All right, let's see. So we've got this asshole Vance Bolton. Man, ask me a question like that. What's wrong with you? All right, so enough of that. All right, so here we go. Jody, get me back in line. This is a serious time. This is a serious time. And I have zero tolerance for anything like that. So how about that? Catch me outside. How about that? All right. So let's get to Dr. Jon Ward before I lose everybody. This is what he had to say today.
Vaccination. The CDC's denial of natural immunity is a huge lie that serves only one purpose: to enrich the big pharma billionaires, their shareholders who benefit from vaccine sales. That's right. These vaccines are not free. We are paying for them. Natural immunity interferes in a major way with the regime-approved goal of vaccine mandates and vaccine passports. If natural immunity is a thing, they can't control our lives through these measures. So just like with hydroxychloroquine, the fish tank cleaner, and ivermectin, the horse dewormer, they have to discredit and slander natural immunity. There are currently 9 new big pharma billionaires from the government-funded COVID vaccine programs. Cheap, effective pharmaceuticals and natural immunity have threatened the cash cow from being an eternal stream of revenue.
You should have heard the rest of what Dr. Jon Ward said. He was unbelievable. He talked a lot about the science of it all, right? Why it doesn't make sense. But what I said was, and it's kind of what we're seeing tonight a little bit, is, I don't want to try to reason with the unreasonable, right? And when it comes to an edict issued from on high, from a president through an executive order, there's just so much I could say about that. But the way to stop this, the way to say, no, you don't have that authority over free and dignified human beings, is for states to invoke the 10th Amendment, to stand athwart the federal government and say, stop. And we have a chance to do that. But I'm going to tell you that your state representative, Jay Trumbull, he's in favor of vaccine mandates. You know why? Because Disney has Jay Trumbull's arm twisted. Disney funds Jay Trumbull through their PAC, millions of dollars. His campaigns, I don't know if it's millions. But it's a hell of a lot. Jay Trumbull can't win a campaign. He wants to run for Senate because his term is ending in the House, right? And so he needs Disney. So he does what Disney tells him to do. And if Disney tells him that his neighbors in his community have to lose their jobs, Jay Trumbull's fine with that. And the same with George Gaynor, right? State Senator George Gaynor, who's about to term limit out. Now, if you don't know George Gaynor, he's about as with it as Joe Biden. I mean, it's true. But neither of those guys gives a flip if you lose your job and then lose your home and end up on the street or in whatever. They don't care about that. You bake the damn cake. You take the damn jab. That's what they care about. There's only one state representative who was there, and his name is Anthony Sabatini. Anthony Sabatini is a lawyer. He's unbelievably articulate and courageous and energetic. And he's the only one who considers his constituents to be the people and not the big corporations. Jay Trumbull and George Gaynor right now are corporatists who represent big corporations and don't give a damn about their neighbors or their family, maybe, who could possibly lose their jobs because they're not fit to be in society if they don't do what the government tells them to do. After the government's been lying about things like early treatment and prophylaxis, and the media have been their PR firms, including our local media and our local chamber of commerce, talking about vaccines are our only option. They're our only thing. No, they're not, damn it. What about early treatment? What about prophylaxis? I don't know what prophylaxis is. It's because you're not taking the time to learn about this stuff. So many people are on the take at this time in America, and I have zero tolerance for that. All right. So anyway, that's how I got back from the Capitol today, and that's where I'm at on this stuff. There's a lot more to follow. I'm gonna make a video so you can hear some of the other speakers. They were all, I'm rarely in a place where there are maybe 10 speakers, and they are all absolutely outstanding and regular people. They're not like big shots. They're pretty much regular people, but they're convicted. They give a damn, right? It's good stuff. I want to thank my sponsors for being with me and helping me bring this to you the best I can at quite a time in these United States. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to jump out of here, and I will see you soon.